Super Smash Bros. Is arguably one of Nintendo's biggest franchises in terms of sales and overall popularity. All of your favorite characters and icons duke it out in an all-out action-packed brawl that creates an enjoyable experience for both the casual and the competitive player. After a couple of weeks of rumors flying around, we finally have an official announcement from Nintendo that Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch will be releasing sometime later in 2018. Now, we're not entirely sure whether or not this is an all-new game or if it's just a port of the Wii U version, but we do know that the Inklings will be featured this time around. So that got me thinking, there's a good chance that we'll probably see some new faces along with the Inklings joining in this new version of Smash. So, I wanted to list my top picks for what newcomers I'd like to see in Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. Note that I said newcomers, so that means previously used characters like Wolf and the Ice Climbers aren't going to cut it, even though I would really love to see the Ice Climbers come back. I'm also going to try and keep my list as reasonable as possible by only including characters that I think have an actual shot of making it into the game, so sorry to all of you who want Goku in Smash Bros. I know that my list is probably going to be a lot different than yours, so let me know who you want to see in the game by leaving a comment below. Anyways, let's get started. To kick off the list, I wanted to pick a character that seems very Sakurai, and by that I mean a character that doesn't seem like it would fit into the cast of Smash, but somehow ends up making it into the game anyway. So for number 10 we have Captain Toad. Mario's little mushroom buddy recently got a video game of his own in the form of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. He's more of a puzzle solver than a fighter, but if they could turn the Wii Fit trainer into a fighter, I'm sure that Captain Toad wouldn't be too hard. He has a heavy backpack that prevents him from jumping, but he could easily hide away a bunch of tools in there, including something to make up for his lack of vertical mobility. He could also use his pickaxe and turnips to attack other fighters, and maybe incorporate a minecart into one of his moves as well. Captain Toad and Toadette can even team up for their final smash. I think that there's enough material to work with here, and I'm sure that the developers could make it work. Nintendo is known to take advantage of Smash's popularity by using it as an advertisement for their other games, adding characters like Corrin in order to promote the newest Fire Emblem game. I think that it would really benefit Nintendo to add another character from the Xenoblade series in order to promote Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Well, maybe I should say characters, because at number 9 we have Rex and Pyra. Like Shulk, Rex wields a special weapon in the form of the blade Pyra. I think that it would be really easy to come up with a move list for Rex because he's already got a huge number of skills in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This would be a great source of promotion for the game, and I think that Rex and Pyra would make a really great addition to the Smash roster. Nintendo has a huge library of new and retro games that it could pick new characters from, but sometimes fans want to see characters from other franchises outside of Nintendo's family. At number 8 is one of the most requested newcomers for Smash, SHANTAE from the SHANTAE series. There's already a good relationship between SHANTAE and Nintendo, as most of the games debuted on Nintendo platforms, so it makes sense for her to represent the indie scene as a third-party fighter. This is another one where I think it would be pretty easy to come up with a moveset. SHANTAE uses her hair to attack enemies from close range, or spells to attack them from afar. She also has her signature genie transformations that would translate really well into Smash as her special moves. Her Elephant Stomp could be a down special, the Monkey Bullet could be used as a side special, and the Bat or Harpy forms could be her up special. I think that SHANTAE would make for a really amazing Smash character, and I can only hope that Nintendo thinks the same way. Smash is known to show love to both popular and obscure characters, but one category that's lacking some representation is the villains. We have Bowser, Ganondorf, King Dedede, Wario, and Meta Knight, but that's really it. With the overwhelming number of heroes in the game, I think that many fans would like to see a certain evil crocodile join the fray. At number 7 we have King K. Rool, the leader of the Kremlin crew and one of Donkey Kong's main antagonists. It's pretty shocking that he isn't in the game already, as fans have been begging for his inclusion for years. It's true that he hasn't been in any of the newer Donkey Kong titles, but at least we know that he hasn't been completely forgotten due to his Mii Fighter costume in Smash 4. King K. Rool has a bunch of different tools at his disposal, and with his tremendous strength and agility, I think he would make for a very unique heavyweight fighter. Come on Nintendo, you know everybody wants it, just give him to us. Sakurai has a habit of showing a little bit of favoritism to the franchises he's helped work on in the past. We already have Kirby and two of his rivals, King Dedede and Meta Knight, but I think that Kirby could use a little bit of backup. At number 6, we have Bandana D. Although he is loyal to King Dedede, Bandana D has become one of Kirby's closest friends. He's actually played a lot more of an important role in the last few Kirby titles than Dedede and Meta Knight themselves by helping Kirby in his adventures, and I can see his popularity leading him into Smash. With his signature spear, Bandana D would make for an interesting close-ranged fighter. Come on Sakurai, show this little guy some love. To be completely honest, I wrote this script for the video a few days before Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch was actually revealed, so I had the inklings here at number 5. Since we already know that they're going to be in the game, let's instead talk about something else that might have been revealed in this trailer. As you can see, Link is not in his usual green tunic from Twilight Princess here, but instead he's wearing his champion's tunic from Breath of the Wild. Could this simply be a costume change to reflect his new iconic look, or are we looking at an all-new character? My money's on the costume theory, but I would really love to see an all-new Link with a brand new moveset. Utilizing the gifts of the 4 champions from Breath of the Wild, this new Link could have a moveset completely different from his other 2 depictions. It might be a little bit of a stretch to hope for a third Link in the game, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. It's pretty clear that Breath of the Wild has been a really big game for Nintendo, so I wonder if they'll actually go through the trouble of making an all-new character for it, or if they're just going to go with the costume change like I said. Either way, I'm happy if this is Link's new look. People like to complain that Smash gives too much representation to certain franchises like Mario and Fire Emblem, but I think that we can add at least one more character from my favorite Nintendo franchise, Pokemon. The addition of Greninja worked out really well due to his popularity in the game and his importance in the anime. He was there to represent the 6th generation of Pokemon, where Game Freak took the series in a brand new direction. I think that we should get a similar addition from Generation 7, so at number 4 we have Incineroar. I know that there are a lot of people out there who want to see Decidueye in Smash because of his really cool design and his inclusion in Pokken Tournament, but I honestly feel like Incineroar makes a lot more sense. For one, his wrestling-inspired design fits in with the theme of Smash super well, and his secondary dark typing could bring some cool new moves like Throat Chop or Sucker Punch to the game. I think his signature Z-move Malicious Moonsault would also work perfectly for a final Smash. Another major point here is that Incineroar seems likely to be the most important of Ash's Pokemon in the Sun and Moon anime. His Litten has gotten way more character development than any of his other Pokemon, and in one of the most recent episodes, it evolved into Torracat and even became rivals with Professor Kukui's Incineroar. Similar to the importance of Ash's Greninja in the X, Y, and Z anime, I think that Incineroar will become a sort of mascot for the generation. The only advantage that I agree Decidueye has is that he would complete the Fire, Grass, Water trio in the game, but I really feel like Incineroar is the better fit here. I'm going to go back to something I said earlier about using Smash to promote other video games. Like Xenoblade and Splatoon, there is another game that Nintendo has been trying to push as one of its big new titles. At number 3, I have Springman from ARMS. Seeing as ARMS is a fighting game, I think that it makes a lot of sense to add a character from the game into Smash. I did pick Springman specifically, but only for the reason that he is the most basic and recognizable character. Ribbon Girl, Min Min, or Twintelle would make for more interesting characters than Springman, to be completely honest, but I think Sakurai would rather opt for a more basic fighter to represent the game as a whole. There's quite a bit of variety in the different arms that you can equip in the game, so there's a lot of options to choose from when creating a moveset for Springman, but his distinctive spring arms would make him a close to medium ranged fighter, I think. Maybe he could work as a foil to Little Mac, where he has a lot of speed, but instead of sacrificing vertical mobility, he sacrifices some of his power in return for a longer range. It would also be cool to see him team up with another character like Ribbon Girl for a final Smash. Of all the newcomers on this list, I think that Springman may be one of the most obvious additions. Apart from Shantae, I've been primarily sticking to first-party characters so far, and this was intentional because I think that the chances of seeing more than one or two third-party newcomers is very unlikely, but there is one indie character that I think has a pretty good shot at making the roster. At number 2 we have Shovel Knight. Come on, you all saw this coming. Shovel Knight has been a huge hit since it released in 2014 and is probably the most requested third-party character for Smash. Like Shantae, I think that Shovel Knight would represent the indie community really well and make for a very interesting fighter. Using his trusty shovel, he could attack and jump on his opponents, as well as utilize relics for his special moves. And for a final Smash, I think it would be really cool to see him team up with Shield Knight or maybe some of the other villains from the game as well. Shovel Knight would make for a very unique fighter and is one of my top picks for Smash Bros. Newcomers. I'm honestly a little shocked that one of Nintendo's most important characters hasn't already been included in the Smash roster. He's been completely sidelined and has only been playable in Mario's spin-off titles. That's right, at number 1 we have Waluigi. It's true that he's technically already in the game as an assist trophy, but that doesn't mean that he can't become a real contender. There's already a lot of Mario characters on the roster, but Wario's sidekick deserves a spot of his own. Since he's been exclusively playable in spin-offs, I think that it would be fun to create a moveset for him that referenced all of those spin-off titles. He could use a tennis racket, a golf club, a soccer ball, or even his motorcycle to fight his opponents. I wouldn't necessarily call him a joke character, but I think that he would definitely be an oddball fighter to add to the mix. Us Waluigi fans are out there, and we think he deserves the honor of joining the Smash Bros. Roster. So there's my list of the 10 newcomers I'd like to see in Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. Let me know if you agree with me on any of these characters, and also be sure to call out any characters that I didn't mention in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.